This is the Angelbird AV Pro CFExpress Type B card. It's the MK1 version. The MK2 was just released, so I thought, why not talk about this? And then once the MK2s come in, we'll talk about those. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. Today we're talking about Angelbird and this AV Pro CFExpress Type B card. Now, this particular model has two cards in it. It was made specifically for the R5 and the 1DX, and basically it's got two cards in it, 1 terabyte. They run at 1700 megabytes per second on the read, 1500 on the write, with a sustained write speed of 1000 megabytes per second, which means that it can really handle pretty much anything you throw at it within terms of whatever the camera is capable of doing. So if you're thinking about buying an MK1 version, I should let you know that the MK2 version is out. Now, if you do have the MK1 version, then you do know that the idea is that it's a good card, and upgrading to an MK2 means that it's supposed to be better. And after talking with the company and going through back and forth, they will have an updated controller in the MK2s, which will allow it to function faster and more reliable. Originally, when these ones came out, there were some issues with the camera, the R5 specifically, locking up, and they did do some firmware updates, and then everything's been working smoothly. Everybody who I've talked to that have had these are loving them. They don't have any issues. Like, I'm very impressed with the lack of negativity. So I did go purchase these after I bought my original SanDisk CFExpress cards. I do have reviews on all the different cards below, including that one that did have heating issues. And do watch that so you know the limitations of that card in case you have it or you're thinking about buying it. And the idea here is I went with these because of that experience and the thought process of what is everybody in the industry shooting with right now. And there are the high-end cards that you can look at, and there are the low-end cards. Now, the idea is very simple. Angelbird has created a whole bunch of different cards for different scenarios for individuals. There is an SE, an SX, an NT, and then of course the Pro original versions. And the question is, which one is best for you? So this is why I've been making these videos, because these were the questions I had. And I blindly went and purchased a SanDisk because I know them, I trust them, but at the end of the day, there is no trust anymore. And I do have a whole bunch of videos relating to that trust, because it's always a conversation about how I'm wrong, the consumer is wrong, or there's something wrong with the product. Let me just get you another product out there. And it's like, did you fix the original problem with it? And are you going to be updating that in the next iteration? And I just find a lot of marketing gimmicks more than anything with a lot of the companies. Now, when you do go for the higher end cards, and with the price points are high, you are going to get faster cards. Where if you go for the more lower end, you're going to get lower end. Budget means lower end value. You're not going to get the fastest cards you're going to get for sure, but you're going to get just enough to run your camera. So the idea of getting this pack was, for me, was like, hey, it's right in that sweet spot for everything I need right now with the Canon R5. I don't know what I'm going to be doing later on, if I'm going to be going the route of the R1 or I'm going to wait for the next iteration of these cameras. I bought this camera, I bought an R6, and I thought I'll be good to go. But now the R5C is out, and you're going, maybe that's the camera, because I'm doing more video than anything. But then I'm thinking about the R1, and that should have two CFExpress Type B cards, because now the price points, because of companies like Angelbird, the price points are coming down, which is going to allow the companies to not think about, oh, what if people don't buy my camera, because the price point for CFExpress cards is stopping them from doing that. Now, we have seen Sony and some other manufacturers come up with, like, two of each type of cards, so they can entertain the future of those new cards they're coming out with, and of course start to make the other cards obsolete, because you do need the speed. So if you don't have a CFExpress Type B card at least 400 megabytes per second, you're not going to be able to use this Canon R5, for instance, that I'm shooting at full speed. So this is why these cards come in nicely and they're good to go. Now, when you're looking at buying any kind of cards, always look at the timeline of when the cards are being released, because there's always going to be a next iteration. Now, the new ones that are coming out will be a little bit faster than these, and there will be the idea of the newer controller. So overall, they will be better cards. Does that mean that this card is no good anymore? Well, no, it's actually a pretty good card-wise speed. So if you're thinking about buying a card like this and saying, hey, I found it on sale, then yeah, you're going to be good. Just make sure you know that you need to upgrade it if it's an older version where they haven't like they basically going back to 2 years ago, and you're going to have to upgrade the firmware where you need the card reader from Angelbird to actually upgrade these. So when I do have that in my possession, I will do a review of that card reader so we can compare it to the pro grade that I'm using. And you know, and overall, there haven't been issues with this other than that locking issue. It is performing, it's doing well, and it does get hot, just like every other card. Every card is going to get hot. But the idea here is that when this gets hot, it performs still, which is awesome. And I'm assuming the MK2s will perform even better. Now, I do have some numbers I'm going to show you, and I'm going to talk about why you'd want to go with this over other cards. Now, the big reason why we want to look at numbers specifically for how the camera is operating is because we're looking at it in terms of how well does our camera perform in accordance to the specs, and then look at the card and understand, is the card at that pro level that we need it to be if we need it for pro reasonings. Now, if you're not, you still want the best card at the end of the day. That's going to be best for you based on your budget. But you don't want to get one that's not performing at all, and then you're sitting there going, oh, I bought a $5,000 camera, Canadian, and now I'm sitting here going, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So we're going to look at the numbers, and we're going to start off with the recovery, which is you taking pictures, holding down that shutter button, it's filling up the buffer, and then we wait for it to empty, because a lot of the times you just want to switch over to video, but you got to wait for that to unload all the images and the buffer to be cleared out before you can switch over. So that's for the hybrids. On the other end, you might be taking pictures and you want to know how quick it will empty so you can start taking them again at the full amount of the buffer. So we do see with the 1 terabyte that it takes 4.55 seconds on average for the RAW, and with the RAW and the JPEG it takes about 4.32 seconds. Now, this is a concept I've seen with the Angelbirds. For some reason, they're pretty close. I mean, always this, like, the difference is negligible, but we do see in most cases with manufacturers that the JPEG adds on a drag to it. These are performing rather well, and it takes about 4.5 seconds to empty. Now, again, when you're looking at this idea, you're saying to yourself, I'm holding down the button and I'm filling the buffer up, and this is the max amount it will take per image. Now, I know the Canon R5 does do 20 images, 20 per second, but that's not the reality. You have to have the camera set up for that in the specific settings, and often is the case, you ain't going to get what you're looking for. Now, to fill the buffer, we're looking at 4.59 seconds for 75 images. And then for the C-RAW, we get up to 120 images, 121 in 7.36 seconds. So this is the average that you're going to be seeing with this camera, the Canon R5, and these MK1 cards. You'll also see that it takes 16.31 images per second and 16.49 with the RAW, with the C-RAW. So you're not really looking at this from a perspective of what the camera can actually do. And you might say, well, this card isn't as fast as it should be. Well, it is. It's just your buffer on your Canon R5 doesn't achieve that. So if you put this in a flagship camera, you're going to see it actually achieve that 20 frames per second. And that is like something that we got to think about when we buy a camera. Just because it says it can achieve it doesn't mean that's what you're going to be seeing in real world for all scenarios. In the case of the Canon R5, you got to turn off all these features in order for it to even get there, and then you got to have it at specific settings. Now, I did test this for real world experience, and that would be a 3-second burst that I would use it at. So 1, 2, or 3 seconds, but I focused on the 3 seconds, and it takes about 17.42 images per second. So we're getting closer to that 20 when we limit how many images we're trying to transfer over. When the camera's been used for a minute, so I'm switching from video over to take the pictures, it would be about 17.49. So it's negligible. The heat is not affecting this as much. Now, if we have been running it for a while, like 20 minutes using HQ, recording, we do see a decrease, and this is right across the board for all these Angelbird cards. And then, of course, the SanDisk drops to about 13.64. I put this into context so you can see what I'm actually, what I experience, and what I'm seeing, and why I think the Angelbirds are better cards overall. Again, you want reliability, and that heat factor does play a role. With the SanDisk, I did see a lot of issues. I'll leave the links below for all those videos, and do subscribe as I release more of these videos so you can be more aware of what to see. You do your testing, and then you can compare it to make sure that you're buying the right card for you. This card, I would say, is great for pretty much anybody that needs a great card. With the MK2s coming out at a $479 price point, it's definitely the go-to card for more in line of those professionals making money that need a couple of those good, quick cards. And those are pretty much that I'm steering towards. Now, the idea with this MK1, if you find it used, then yeah, I think this is going to be a great deal for many people, because I don't think you need to go spend full money if you can get it at a good price point. Now, I know people who have bought these are probably going to be rather upset that they see a $479 price tag on an MK2 with a faster card and a better controller, but I mean, you're an early adopter, so you're going to be spending more money, and then seeing those prices come down, it's going to hurt the wallet a little bit, or the the pocket, as they say. But I mean, the idea here is that some people might put them on sale or put them right down low so they can buy those 479 cards, and they probably want to try out those faster cards. But yeah, the MK2s are probably going to be the go-to card for most people that are not concerned about the budget and they're looking for a professional level, because there is the SC, and the SC card, now this one runs a little bit slower and the sustained speed is 800 megabytes per second, but they offer it at 512 gigabytes. And I mean, is that a good level for most people going on with their camera? And I think yes. The 1 terabyte, and when I'm looking at the 1 terabyte, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, what's my workflow? And this is what everybody's got to look at, their workflow, and say to themselves, what do I need out of a workflow? For me, going out with the Canon R5, the 512 is good enough. But there is always a fear of it being full, in which case for 179, those cards are going to be at. You can buy a couple of those and you don't have to worry about running out of space. It's a great price point. Now, if you want the more speed and to be more protected for the future, which is something I'm thinking about, what if I buy that R1, or what if I buy the R5C, and then I go, okay, I'm going to do a complete upgrade when the new cameras come out? Am I going to have cards that are going to be taking me to that next level, or will I have to upgrade again on that note? So my thought process overall is this. I go, what's my workflow? My workflow is that I generally need 1 terabyte, because I know I'm going to get up to 500 gigabytes, and that's going to be for stuff that I'm recording that I can't afford to lose, and the pictures, and it's going to be backing up to each other. So this is what I've been finding on average. And because of that, I am now filling that up, two SD cards that I'm going to swap out, that I'm going to be backing up to, and then if I need anything more, well, that's going to record onto the card, like for instance a 4K 120 that can't record to an SD, so I can't back that up, and that's going to be on the card. And this is why you want to spend more money on reliable CFExpress cards, because you're not, saving duplicates, which is bloody insane that Canon didn't release those cameras with two CFExpress Type B cards. But hey, what do I know? The thought then becomes, all right, if I'm going to swap, I have duplicates, another two SD cards with another card from Angelbird, and then I'll swap out after that's done, so I can move everything off and back up everything in a professional manner. If I'm on about doing my own stuff, I'm not as concerned losing stuff, and I know that I don't have to back up everything, but having two cards in that case is great. And up to 1 terabyte, if I'm traveling, I don't have to worry about a lot of things. Now, I have also fallen into the situation where I needed a quick edit, and I just did it right on the card and then transferred it onto Google and stored it. So, I mean, you also have that option with bigger size card. And for 479, that with the MK2s that are coming out, that once I get them, I will do a review so we can walk through that idea and see if there is a difference with the numbers that I pick up as well. That's going to be something. So do leave a like below, a subscribe, and of course leave a comment. Let me know what you think. What has been your experience with these cards? What should we be expecting with the MK2s? And of course, check out these two videos.